Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are doing my October wrap up. I have read a total of 10 books this month, which is pretty incredible when I read an average of 6 books a month. So let's go through all of these. The first book that I read in the month of October was The Final Offer, which is the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I give this book 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. So what you have to understand is that I read the first book in 2022 something. I feel like it was a very long time ago, so I remembered pretty much nothing when I picked up the second book in September. And I read the second book. Kinda didn't like it because it was giving toxic masculinity. I have a lot of money, so everything is permitted, and every problem will ever be solved with a huge amount of money. So it was not really my vibe and not the kind of story that I wanted to read, but I still decided to pick up Final Offer, and I was so glad that I did because I really enjoyed it. So basically we are following Callahan, which is the third brother. And he has to complete a series of tasks so that he can receive his inheritance, and not only his inheritance but also parts in the company, so that his father could not be the CEO anymore, and that is a good thing for them. So yeah, his task is to sell his childhood house, and in this house there is actually his ex with a kid. And so at the beginning of the book he enters the house and he discovers that there is a kid and there is this girl and she is living there, and so his task is going to be way more complicated than what I thought. And so this is history of him trying to go through all these memories, trying to work with this girl and trying to understand his relationship with her and with the kid. It is very interesting, and I thought what was really good was that it also talked about alcoholism and how to use. Well, the problem is that Callahan used alcohol as a coping mechanism for everything that went bad in his life. Like every single time that he had a single thought that was not happy, he was just opening a bottle and just drinking from it. So quite heavy in that sense. There's a lot of discussion around being sober and how to be sober when everything is so hard and difficult. I think it was nice. It was not a very deep book about alcoholism, but it was really nice to have this point of view in this discussion, even though the book in itself is not really like a huge book about alcoholism. It's really just a light book, silly goofy book with a sprinkle of something a bit more serious in it. So at the end I really had a fun time, even though it was 650 pages something. I really enjoyed this book. After that, I did a 24-hour readathon and I read 4 books. You can see the video of this readathon. I posted it in my channel. So if you want to have a fun time and watch that, you can. I would actually like it. That would be fun. And I read 4 books. The first book that I read was Butcher and Blackbird. The synopsis of this book is that you have these 2 serial killers and they decide on a random Thursday afternoon to do this challenge. And basically every year they meet and they have to find a specific serial killer and him. Except a little bit of emotions, maybe a little bit of lust, a little bit of love is in the way. This is all I'm gonna say. The characters, so one-dimensional. Like, the author tried to do something, but no. What she had to understand was that serial killers are psychopaths, and as psychopaths, they cannot have the same thoughts and feelings as we do. And you cannot write a psychopath that is also anxious about her feelings. Like,
girly pop. She is skinning people and torturing them as a hobby. Why is she insecure about the feeding of some dudes? No. No, no, no. I refuse to believe that, and because of that, I gave this book 3 stars. Because, no, it wasn't good. Thank you. Next. After that, I listened to the audiobook of Stalked by the Kraken. Mistake. But I did it anyway. Because I wanted to listen to the audiobook of something while reading Butcher and Blackbird. I was in kind of a reading slump, but I still had a lot of time to go, so I decided to pick an audiobook and pick the wheel, chose this book. The story is about this girl that is a matchmaker in a bathhouse for fantastical creatures like witches and fays and kraken, apparently. And except she went and left a very toxic relationship, and so she's very doubting herself, and so she's trying to get her confidence back. And this dude, who is Kraken, he decided that this girl that is called Rose Love, by the way, and this girl is his mate, and so he's stalking her. And at some point he's like, listen girlie, we're gonna strike a deal, you, me, 3 nights, deal. And she's like, okay. This is basically the plot. So yeah, again, this is the kind of book that you read when you're really tired. You don't want to think too much. You want just to have a spicy time. After that, I read a very, very good book, like very good, called Even Though I Knew the End. I listened to it. Damn, I was so happy. It redeemed the 2 books I would have to read before this. Excellent. This is the story of this girl in Chicago in the 1940s something, okay? Except she's a witch. She's not really a witch, she's a warlock, but I don't know the difference, so for me she's a witch. And there is this series of murder that are happening in the city, and so she has to investigate. Except there is this problem that she kind of made a deal with the devil, and so she yeah, there is that. And so she has to investigate this series of murder while knowing what she knows about her own deal with the dark creatures. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because this is a novella. It took like 4 hours to listen to it, and it was so good. I read the synopsis before I started it, but I didn't understand too much, and I think that was the perfect way of going into it because it is so short. A lot of things are happening, but because it is so short, if I tell you the beginning, it's like 2 hours into it, so 50% through, you don't really need to know 50% of the book to start it. What you need to know is that it's giving investigation in the 1940s with a lesbian woman that is so cute, and no spies at all, and very interesting, a lot of twists, really good. I gave it 4 stars, highly recommend, and I will definitely read more books in this genre because that was so new for me, but I loved it. The last book that I read in this readathon was called Half Truth. This is the kind of book that is good and bad at the exact same time. This is about this girl who has family issues because her brother suddenly decided to himself, but maybe he did not. You know what I mean? Like, it's very suspicious. You don't know. So she decides to go to his university to investigate. And in the university, you have secret societies. Like, secret in the sense that everyone knows that there are secret societies, but secret societies in the sense that nobody knows who's in it and what they do. So secret societies. And she tries to have more information because not only did her brother try to end himself, but there is also this girl who disappeared and nobody knows what happened, except this girl was kind of close to her and close to her brother, so she's trying to see what happened for him to be so bad and her disappearance, so she's trying to investigate. Except there is this dude that is like, he's a hockey player, but the broody alpha male ones that is kind of a softie, but deep down, okay? Not at the surface, really not. And he takes an interest in her and decides to somehow invite her in a secret society. There is that. There is that. Like I said, it's giving Wattpad. If sometimes this is what you need. Sometimes you're reading a lot of heavy books and sometimes you're tired and you had a very bad day and you just need to read something that is cute, a bit thrilling, with a little bit of suspense, with a little bit of love, with a, you know. If I remember correctly, there was no spice, which was really good. Yeah, it was a 3 stars. It was good, wasn't incredible, still had a fun time. Really nice to read in a readathon because that was so quick to read and so many plot twists, even though I guessed them way before they happened. That was okay. It was, for me, it was kind of perfect for Halloween season because it was giving. And after this 24-hour readathon, I was just, I have read enough average books and some very spicy ones, and I kind of needed something good that I knew would be really good, like something that incredible. And so I read Just for the Summer by Happy Criminals. You have to understand that I read Part of Your World and Yours Truly in September, so I knew what I was getting on. I knew it was going to be good, like excellent. I gave Part of Your Words and Yours Truly 5 stars. Absolutely incredible. And when I started Just for the Summer, just the first chapter, I was like, damn yeah, this is good. This is good, this is going to be good, this is going to be incredible. Let me give you the synopsis of Just for the Summer. This is about this girl who is a traveling nurse, and she randomly, on a random Tuesday morning, she goes on Reddit, and there is this guy that is like, damn, I have this curse. Every single time that I date someone, we broke up, we split. Every time that we split, they found their soulmate just after that. And so she's like, me too. They communicate back and forth, and she decides to visit him. He has a very difficult life. Like, he is going through it at the moment. Not easy for him. She has a very toxic mother. She is going through it. Not easy for her. And they're bonding. It's kind of cute. It's giving, I was not planning to fall for you, but I am doing it anyway, and this is scaring the shit out of me. This was a very well-researched book. I listened to the audiobook of it. Very, very good narration. Like, for me, the book is a 5 stars, but with the narration of the audiobook, 6 out of 5. Incredible. I would give it a 10 if I could. That good. Okay, and this is not just the feeling of a good book. This is a feeling of a good book, but also every single facts and reasons why it is a good book. Objectively, excellent. Subjectively, perfect. Everything that I needed at that precise moment, and everything that I will need in the future. Every single time that I don't feel good, I will go back to this book and read this book again and feel amazing. A very complex character. I'm gonna say 3-dimensional, but at this point it's like 5-dimension. They are so complex, so well written, so well researched. Absolutely incredible. Perfect to read, but you have to understand it's heavy topics, like very heavy topics. So it's silly goofy. I laughed out loud and I wanted to cry. I don't cry when I read books, but I had a tear. I have the beginning of the tear, which is for me incredible. So highly recommend. 5 out of 5. The best book that I have read this month, like the best. And I read this book. I finished it, and I made the decision to start a thriller. I made the decision to start In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Very bad decision. Very, very bad decision. I shouldn't have, because I started it. I read the first 50 pages. I wanted to end the life of the main character. I was like, how can she be so insufferable? How can she be such a bitch? How is she not the dead one? That is my question. I couldn't go past 100 pages. All of them, like, she was insufferable, but there were also like her friends, kinda. I didn't really understand the dynamics because she was friends with them, but also maybe they had sex at some point, I don't know. And I didn't want to know, and so I closed the book and I said, no thank you, bye. And then I started Rhapsodic by Lord Thalassa. Yeah, I was definitely reading some at that point. This is the story of this girl that kind of murdered her stepfather. It's the very first chapter, the very first sentence, if I'm not mistaken. So she murders her stepfather, and she's like, damn, what did I do? What have I done? And so she calls this dude that is called the Vagina. And the Vagina is this kind of very dark fae that nobody should fuck with. And so they strike the deal that he will take care of everything, the body and all, and she will live her life like good. And everything will be forgotten and everything is going to be okay. Except 7 years in the future, we see her, and she has a lot of debts, 300 and such, because she made so many deals with the Vagina that she has very heavy debts to pay to him. 300! Like, she has him 300 Vagin. So, girl was insane, and throughout the book you understand why she struck so many bargains. I'm gonna slightly spoil you. This is because she fell in love with him. Yes, she was 17, I agree with you, and yes, he was like 2000 millennia. Yeah. No, you did not heard that wrong. That was a little bit cringy, not gonna lie. There's also the fact that was in the past, and now it's the future. 7 years later, which means now she's 20 something. It is still a bit young, don't you think? Yes, you think so. I did too. And so she is paying her debts while also investigating some kind of like disappearance in the Vagina kingdom. Super boring. No, let's be real. It was supposed to be some kind of romantic. The romance? Bullshit, because if they are already in love at the beginning of the book, like, okay, it's a lot of miscommunication, but it's resolved halfway through the book. And this is supposed to be a 4-book series about the same couple. Excuse me? Why would I want to read that? I'm here for the romance. I don't care about your stupid disappearance stuff. Like, it's supposed to be creepy, but I just didn't care. So I finished the book and decided I would not be continuing the series. Like, it was okay. I had enough. That was enough. I don't care. I didn't care about reading that. I don't care anymore. So 3 stars. Let's move it on. After that, what did I read? I read Heartstopper. Volume 2. Incredible. You have to understand that I did not read Heartstopper when everyone was, and I did not watch the TV show that they were doing, but I have seen a few edits of Heartstopper show, and it seems so cute, and so I decided to pick up the first volume, and the first volume was really cute, so I picked up the second one in October, and I was like, damn. And so I watched the TV show, and I am currently watching the TV show because it is so good that I don't want to watch it. I want to watch it, but I don't want to because it's gonna end at some point. Like, there is a limited number of episodes, and so at some point I will not be able to consume the episodes, and my life will be over. So I'm watching this, but I'm not. But the book was incredible, and I have already ordered the 3rd volume, so I'm waiting for it to arrive so that I can read the 3rd volume and maybe reread the 1st and the 2nd. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see in the future. So that was Heartstopper. And finally, the last 2 books that I read in October were 2 novellas. Under One Roof and Stuck With You by Ellie Hazelwood. Okay, you have to understand that I am not an Ellie Hazelwood fan. I read The Love Hypothesis almost when it came out, and like mid. I didn't understand the hype. And then the hype got bigger and bigger. And there was Love in the Brain, and there was how is it called? Love Actually? And there was the novellas and Bride and so many others, and I was like, fine! I'm gonna read this book so I can understand why everyone is raving about this when clearly when I read that it was mid. So I'm gonna do it. You pushed me too hard, like, stop it. And I listened to the audiobook of Love in the Brain and Love Theoretically, if I remember correctly. I listened to them and I was like, now I understand. Now it makes sense. Thank you. I shouldn't have read physically The Love Hypothesis. I should have listened to it, because listening to the books, it makes them way better and very enjoyable. So I listened to Under One Roof and Stuck With You, who are the two first novellas in the Steminist series. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was kind of cute and kind of a good time and kind of quick to read, easy to read. Good. Like, what can I say? It was just so cute. First novella is about this girl who moves in the house of another dude, except the dude is like a lawyer in a very big oil company, if I remember correctly, but it's like energy company, and she is an environment engineer. So she's like, no, I don't like you. And he's like, I don't like you either. So very love to hate, very cute, very quick, steamy, definitely. But the narrator did not do the very weird, shitty noise that some of them do. So good. And then I read the second book that was Stuck With You. A lot more steamier, spicy, definitely. A lot more than the first one, but very good. And this is actually about this girl that is stuck in an elevator with this dude, except things happened with this dude and she refused to talk to him afterwards because of reasons, and so we are understanding the reasons. There is the third book that I need to read and that I will read in November. That's called Below Zero. I will listen to it as I did for the previous two, but these are all the books that I read in the months of October, which once again is crazy that I managed to read so much, because usually I just read 6 books and that is fine by me. So yeah, I'm gonna do the final flip through so you can see everything from September to the last page of October, because I am very proud of this reading journal. I think it is very cute and it is I like it. So let me show you.
So this is the first page, the September cover page, and the September TBR. My wrap up, all of the beautiful quotes, all of them from 10,000 Days of January, because it was the best book of September. After that we have a September calendar, when I finished every book and what happened that month. This is the end of the wrap up, because I didn't have enough space on the other page. And here is the book bracket with the best book of the month, which is the 10,000 Days of January. We have my spread for Happy Place and the spread for Kingdom of the Wicked. This beautiful spread for Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. Love Theoretically and the 10,000 Days of January. And the spread for the Dreamland Billionaires. October, cover page and TBR. And the number of subscribers. Thank you everyone. Thank you to every single subscriber. It's so incredible to see you grow. The wrap up with all the books makes me so happy. Quotes also from the 10,000 Days of January, and I could do another double page if I wanted to, because this book is incredible. DNF and Rhapsodic. My 24-hour readathon. And finally, the Staminist.
I hope you had a good time. I hope you got inspired. I hope you got a good recommendation. I really hope you had a good time. And if there are books that you want to recommend, if there are books that you have read and want to talk about, if you had opinions about the books that I read, feel free to tell me down below. And if you have any ideas for November theme, you're welcome to tell me. And Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you very soon in another video. Goodbye.